All right, so good morning to everybody. I'm so glad to be back with you guys this morning. And my name is Jennifer, and I'm Jennifer Soto, and I am a director in Florida. I've been with Pampered Chef for nearly 22 years, and I've moved a lot, so I have found it necessary to seek out new leads all the time. So whether you're new to Pampered Chef or you've been around a while, booths and vendor events, booths or vendor events and fundraisers are a great way to generate new leads in your business. So we're going to talk about both of those things today, but let's start with booths or vendor events, okay? So we'll start with where to find them. There's so many places to find vendor events, but start with Facebook. Go to the events area from your homepage, and on this page you can see all of your upcoming events that you've already RSVP'd for, but you can also search for events there, and there's several different ways to search for events. So once you're in the event area, scroll down and you'll see categories like events you may like, or popular events with your friends, or food events, or recently announced. And you can look at all of those and see which ones will create opportunity for you, because some things are just fun to go to and some things are full of opportunity for you. If you haven't searched out a lot of craft fairs or bazaars and networking events before, you might not see a lot of those here, because it's definitely dependent on the algorithm as to what Facebook is going to show you. So if you look on the right, if you're on a computer and you look on the right and you see find events, you can search by topic or even by date. Start with the dates that you're available to participate and look from there. Remember that the opportunity may an opportunity at an event may not necessarily be a booth type event. So you might see a fundraiser or a rummage sale or something like that. It would be a great opportunity for you to set up a table or contact the person and see if you can set up something there, but it might not necessarily be a vendor event per se. Okay. Join groups on Facebook in the areas that you want to work. Maybe close by where you live, or maybe the next community over. Look for postings of events, and you can even ask in those groups if anybody knows anything that's going on. Remember, though, to be respectful of the group's rules concerning sales. Post on your profile, that's your personal profile, asking if anybody knows if any events coming up. You can also ask this on your business page, but on your personal profile, you're going to have kind of a different kind of people who you might have other direct sales friends, or you might have people that don't necessarily like your business page yet, but you can be asking, does anybody know of any craft fairs or bazaars or booths coming up? So you can also use Google search. You can search vendor events near me. It'll actually probably auto-populate. And then that way you can see what's coming up. Also, instead of just using vendor events, you can use words like craft fairs, festivals, bazaars, fundraisers, all of those things where you might find a place where you can set up. Eventbrite is another site that might have events listed. You can go to the Eventbrite website and type in the zip code of where you'd like to be, and then just search from there. So another thing you can do is go check out your local schools and churches. Check out their website and their Facebook page. Often they hold events that are advertised there. You can also reach out to your other direct sales contacts. My friend actually created a group just for this. It's a whole bunch of vendors of all kinds, and we all share the events that we are attending, and you can create your own group if you don't have one in your area. And then the last thing is you can create your own event, your own booth opportunity. Get together with some other vendors and have a market of your own. And I will share a little bit more info on this one as we get down to kind of in the weeds of how-tos. Okay, so now how-tos. How-tos for getting the most out of your booth. First of all, establish on your calendar when you can do the booths, okay? Booths are typically on Fridays or Saturdays. Sometimes you'll have some on Sundays. Very, very, very rarely are they during the week. So you want to make sure that your space is open. Set your budget. How much are you willing to spend on an event? I typically limit my events to $50 or less for a one-day event. Of course, some events will cost more when they're multi-day events, or they're highly attended, like home shows and things like that, state fairs, stuff like that. I also find that if the location is in an arena or a convention center, it typically costs a lot more. So contact the coordinator. I recommend you start with a phone call if you can and see if there's space. You also want to make sure there's no other Pampered Chef person there. Be wary of somebody who's willing to allow two of the same direct sales vendor. They might be focusing on sales of booth spots and not the event itself. Some people are professional event planners and they make their money by selling booth spaces. Okay, ask questions. How much does it cost? Can you have electricity? Is it indoors or outside? Do you need to provide your own tables? How many years have they been doing this? How are they advertising? Things like this, because you want the event to be good for you. You don't want to pay into an event and then have no traffic, okay? So let's see. Get a copy of the liability certificate that you can provide with your application or have it on site. I recommend that you do this early, and it's very simple. You just go to Consultants Corner, you click on My Account, scroll down to the policies and procedures, and it's in that box. It's called Demonstrator Liability Insurance. You already pay for this. This is your $3 a month. One of the things that you're getting with your $3 a month. Okay. You will want to have one for each booth. A lot of times there's somebody there checking to see if you have one, and it's just nice to have it on hand. They will email you after you complete the form. And like I said, you want to fill out a request for each booth. Okay. Now, the next thing is when you've got your booth secured and you're ready to go, you definitely want to set your intention. What do you want to get out of that booth? Is it sales? Is it bookings? Is it recruit leads? Whatever it is, write it down, okay? Setting your intention will force you to act and interact to get the results that you want. I'm typically looking for bookings and future people to add into my sales funnel and my lead pool at events, but I'm always ready to take an order. All right, keep your display simple. You don't need a ton of product. You definitely don't need all of your product. Remember your intention. Is it bookings? If it is, then bring the power tools. Is it orders? Make sure you have an ordering station. I don't do a lot of cash and carry at my parties or at my booths because I'll never get the opportunity to talk to those people again. Okay. And I might carry I have a basket that's got $10 items and a basket that has $20 items, and they're in between my power tools. So I'll have some cookware, a quick cooker, and the blender. And in between there, I'll have the little baskets. And the other thing is I don't do a demo because I want to have the opportunity to talk to people. I don't want to be demoing product, okay? So have a drawing of some kind. You want to be able to capture the info of the people that you talk to. I have a drawing for something small like a scraper. And when they ask me, what's the drawing for? What am I going to be entering for? I say, I haven't decided yet. And I tell them to write down what they'd like to win on the back of their entry form. This is dual purposed. Now I know what they would like to win. And so I can offer that to them in the form of a show or something like that. And it enables me to offer them a future value. Another thing is that you want to stand in front of your booth. Don't sit behind your booth. It's so horrible when you see people sitting behind their booth, reading a book, looking at it, just waiting for people to come up to them. You want to be able to interact with people. You want to draw them in. You want to ask lots of questions. Another no-no is don't eat at your booth. If it's a long day, steal away for a snack, but wait for a lull. Many times, large events will have someone who will sit at your booth while you run to the restroom or grab a bite to eat. Another thing to do is wear your apron. The pockets are great for holding door price slips and pens, plus it sets you apart from the other vendors. Now, I promised I would tell you a little bit about hosting your own event, and this is one of my very favorite things that I do every year. I've networked with many vendors, both in direct sales and others, that sell things, make wreaths, sell clothes, that kind of thing, and I hold an annual event in my home. We have 12 to 13 vendors. Now, the past couple years, we've been holding it the Friday after Thanksgiving weekend. So that's that first weekend after Black Friday, after Small Shopping Saturday. We hold it then. And we hold it in the evening. And it's a 3-hour stop and shop. We have each vendor pay $10, and they also have to bring an appetizer or a dessert plus a drink to share. So like a 2-liter or a bottle of wine. We ask that they please only bring finger food so that we don't have to use utensils. And it doesn't matter whether they make it or they buy it. I don't even care. We do 2 door prizes. So how we do the door prizes is that vendor fee. So if I have 13 vendors, I have $130 in vendor fees. So I take two door prizes, and the guests are going to be registering for the door prizes at each vendor's table. So if they're not interested in jewelry, they might not register at the jewelry table, or they're not interested in oils, they might not register at the oil table. They're only going to register at the tables that they want, and those vendors are going to have a warm list of people to follow up with. At the end of the night, I draw 2 names from the vendors, and I give them $50 each, and then they pick from their door prize entries. Now, you might be saying, okay, you said $130, and you're only doing $100 in prizes. We use the rest of the money, some for paper goods, and then we use some for Facebook advertising for the event. Okay, but they're responsible for picking from their winners and posting the name of their winner in the event. That way they have accountability and they don't just keep the money. It works very well, and last year there was a point at my house where you could hardly move around. So it was very successful. If you don't have a home for this, you can always see if you could do it at a church or do it at a local restaurant or something like that, and turn it into a fun. You can always turn it into a fundraiser where everybody donates to a fundraiser, then or the vendor fees go to a fundraiser, and that's another way you could do it especially if you're wanting to do it at the church or something like that. All right, after every event, follow-up is crucial. You must reach out to these leads within 48 hours, no longer. Although I will tell you, one time I did not reach out to leads until like 3 months later, and I said, hey, you wanted me to call you after Christmas. Well, March is after Christmas, right? Okay, so send a thank you email to everyone. I have a template set up in Evernote that thanks them for coming, shares my social media links, and tells them all the things I offer, like parties, fundraisers, wedding showers, freezer meal workshops, and monthly bunko, as well as the next couple events that I will be at. I also include a recipe book that I have created. So to create a recipe book, it's very simple. Pick a theme, grab 10 recipes off your website, cut and paste, and make a book and save as a PDF. Okay, you could just use a word processing program to make that, and then save it as a PDF. Take a little bit of time to format the recipes so that they fit on one page. And you can also do this for your virtual parties too. I've created all kinds of themed recipe books. It's a free gift that you can use as your lead magnet in all of your marketing funnels. All right, those are a bunch of words I threw out there that you're probably like, lead magnet, marketing funnels, what are those? Not our topic today, but interesting nonetheless. Okay, I also tell them that I will be doing a drawing live on my Facebook page at a certain time. I typically text this to the people who entered as well, and I encourage everyone to like my business page. Now, I call every person who marked any interest on the door prize slip. You can text and then call, but I typically call first. Be prepared to leave a message. Speak slowly and clearly. Some people are only going to read the transcription, and you absolutely must know what you are going to say. Don't ramble. Don't tell everything. Ask them, give them a call to action, ask them to call or text you back. Then follow up with a simple text that says, hey, Susie, this is Jennifer Soto with Pampered Chef. I just left you a voicemail. Be sure to check it out. I've done this so many times. My predictive text, I just have to text in the middle, boop, 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 and it fills it all out for me. Okay, lead with value when you're talking to them. You are looking to serve them. Find out more about them and what their needs are before you jump into all the things that you have to offer. Okay, so now let's move on to fundraisers because we're about halfway through my time. Fundraisers are great. You have the opportunity to meet a lot of new people with them, and they can really sustain your business. So you can find out all of the information on fundraisers on Consultants Corner. Just click Explore, scroll down to the training block, and click on Party Types to Offer. You'll see the link to fundraisers in there kind of towards the bottom. So just as an overview, our fundraisers offer 10% back in cash for sales of $200 to $599.99 and 15% back for all sales over $600. The organization also gets $3 for every booking. And the chairperson, as a thank you, gets a 10% past host discount on their future purchases and the choice of the monthly special at the fundraiser. Now, we also offer special fundraisers with a higher giving percentage for Round Up from the Heart and Help with Cancer. And these fundraisers have pre-designated recipients of the donation, and they can be hosted by anyone, and the coordinator also receives that 10% past host discount and the choice of the monthly special as well. Just an aside, fundraising checks must be made out to an organization. When raising money for an individual for, say, an adoption fee or a mission project or something like that, it works to have the check made out to the church or an organization that they're working with. For example, a Boy Scout Eagle project, you might have it made out to the troop. And for like an adoption, they might have a separate bank account as a designated fund. This also works for people who've lost their homes or things like that as well. Now, our fundraisers rock because there is no overhead or pre-purchase of items required. We don't have a limited catalog to purchase from, and our products come with all the same benefits and money-back guarantees as if you purchased outside of a fundraiser. To generate interest in fundraisers, start with your Facebook profile, your business page, and your groups that you're in, and let everybody know that you are looking for organizations that need to raise money. Explain that you love to give back and ask people what their favorite charitable organizations are. Another post can ask if anybody knows of schools or religious organizations that need to raise money. As you schedule and do fundraisers, make sure that you are highlighting the organization on your business page and share it with a share to your personal profile. Feature the organization, share their page, talk about their mission, etc. This lets others know that you do fundraising. It stirs hearts and makes them think that maybe they can host too. You may even get future bookings for traditional parties just because people love that you take the time to give back. Now, think of people who you know that have kids in sports or religious activities or other outside activities. They are always having to raise money, and you could help them. You could also host a fundraiser for a charity that you love or is near and dear to your heart. Talk about them at your parties. Many people don't know that we offer fundraising. Many people who feel uncomfortable asking their friends to buy for their benefit will love the opportunity to host a charitable event for their favorite charity. I have had many hosts have a party to donate to a cause that's near and dear to their heart. When you talk to somebody who's interested in hosting a fundraiser but needs to take it back to a committee or a board, be sure to ask when the meeting is and ask if you can come by and share the fundraiser opportunity with you. You're going to do a better job selling the fundraiser, and then you'll be there to answer any questions and assure them that it's a great opportunity. Sometimes there's a long process to get approval, especially at a school, and consider that a member of the organization can host the event and the check can be made to a private org as opposed to the school. This will speed the process and not meet all the maybe circumvent is a bad word, but really be able to get the money for the organization or the school or the trip or whatever they're going on without having to wait for the school board, which could be a long process, practically like going to Congress. Okay, so this is not a one-time look. To be truly successful building your fundraising business, you want to be talking about it regularly. Incorporate it in your social media plan. Talk about it at your shows. You have the opportunity to have annual fundraisers with organizations that will grow each year that you do them. So here are a few tips to make your fundraisers a success. Encourage a kickoff event, even if most of the fundraising will be done online. This is where you'll be able to talk to the parents and the participants about how to take an order and how to gather orders online. I personally do not take checks or cash. I have everyone pay with a credit or debit card. It's very difficult to track down a miscalculated pennies for tax, and they sometimes leave off the shipping. I also recommend that you direct ship all orders. This is a benefit to the organization. The upcharge is minimal and will alleviate the headache of delivery. The guests can just consider it a $2 donation to their organization. Okay, it also expands the locations of your orders that they can gather. They're not limited to people who are local. Create a Facebook event for the group. Create a Facebook event or a group for the fundraiser. This allows you to post some content and they can invite friends and family members to participate. Personally, I use events. They can last 2 weeks, which is plenty of time to do a fundraiser. All right, here are a couple of fun twists and alternative options for traditional fundraising that Pampered Chef has created for us. So first of all, think of church kitchens, senior centers, after-school programs, kitchens in the schools, and other places that have kitchens that are in need of quality tools. Consider hosting a fundraiser where it's more like a wedding shower. Guests can purchase both for the kitchen and for themselves, and the organization will earn the free products to stock their kitchen. This can also be done for victims of natural disasters or fires. How many times have you been asked to donate to a raffle or some other event? They promise you you're going to get future business. You're getting your name out there. And I'll be honest, I have never gotten future business from those events. So here's what I offer folks when they contact me for a donation. I recommend that they host a party ASAP and use all of the host benefits to create a beautiful basket that they can give away or raffle off, or they could use the products as individual raffles or door prizes. This is exciting to most of them. Consider this when reaching out to organizations to see if they are interested in raising money. It's an option that can be hosted by one member and may not need special approval. For example, one person on the PTO can host and give the host benefits as a donation. Now, here's one other twist that I recently heard of, and I really love it. When working with a particular organization, set up a separate fundraiser for each participant. So if you're with a sports team and there's 10 kids on the team, set up 10 individual fundraisers for each kid on the team. This will help you track their sales, especially when the donation goes directly into a pot for them, like with scout troops or sports teams. This also gives them an independent link and ownership of their own fundraiser, as they will have their own host dashboard. Their donation will grow when they reach 600 in sales individually. I really like this option because when I hold a fundraiser for, say, a sports team, each family is just going to place one order and won't go beyond that. When you create an event just for them, they're going to go out and gather orders. You can even offer a prize for the top earner. All the donation checks can be made out to the same place. So those are some fun things, and those are just some examples of different kinds of fundraisers that you can do. So I really hope that you guys got some great ideas for fundraisers and booths, and this is the perfect time of year to take advantage of that and let people know. And that's all I have.